Most movies sell the American dream as a story about hope, but for 50 years, Martin Scorsese and Robert De Niro have shown us it's a lie. The classic promise goes like this: anyone through sheer grit can claw their way to success, but their films reveal what happens when ambition is corrupted. When success comes not from patience and hard work, but shortcuts, violence and obsession. Together, Scorsese and De Niro didn't just question the dream, they dismantled it, peeling back the glossy surface to show the rot underneath. You only need two images to understand the story they've told on screen. First, Johnny Boy in Mean Streets. De Niro bursts into a bar, reckless, cocky, full of energy. He's young, impulsive, convinced he can take on the world.
I borrow money from you because you're the only quote around here that I can borrow money from without paying back, right?
Now cut to Frank Sheeran in The Irishman. An old man, frail and hunched in a nursing home. The swagger is gone, replaced by a heavy silence and regret. That contrast between the punk kid desperate to be somebody and the old man left with nothing captures the art of Scorsese and De Niro's cinematic partnership. Time and again, their characters chase the American dream, only to find it leads not to glory, but to loneliness. So how did these two New Yorkers turn that idea into the most devastating critique of ambition in American cinema? Before they can expose the lie, Scorsese and De Niro have to make you believe in it. Drawing on their shared heritage, their collaboration starts by selling you the fantasy. Their childhoods in Little Italy gave them a front row seat to the local wise guys, men who operated outside the system and seemed to have it all. The cash, the cars, the respect. This wasn't the slow and steady American dream. This was a shortcut and it was thrilling. In Mean Streets, De Niro is a kamikaze pilot without a plane. Doomed from the start, his reckless charisma is impossible to ignore, but it's in Goodfellas that the seduction is perfected.
The use of narration gives the movie a tone it otherwise really wouldn't have.
It's important for the audience to be taken through this lifestyle, the way children are in a way, with growing up in that area, where in those areas where they're attracted to it because of the what appears to be glamorous.
The legendary tracking shot through the Copacabana isn't just dazzling filmmaking, it's a masterclass in temptation. We follow Henry Hill through the kitchen into a VIP table set just for him. The camera's fluid movement makes us feel like we're getting an exclusive taste of a life where doors just open for you. This is the fantasy at its most potent.
As far back as I can remember, I always wanted to be a gangster.
This isn't just a confession, it's a mission statement. In these films, the dream is pure, unadulterated excitement. And the first dangerous lesson is clear. If the packaging is shiny enough, you won't care what's inside. But here's where it gets darker. It isn't always about getting rich. For Scorsese and De Niro, the object of ambition is irrelevant. The pursuit itself is the poison. This is where their character studies become chillingly specific, examining men whose hunger isn't for money, but for something far more corrosive: to be seen.
A lot of you are probably wondering why Jerry isn't with us tonight. Well, I'll tell you, the fact is he's tied up, and I'm the one who tied him. Well, I know you think I'm joking, but believe me, that's the only way I could break into show business.
Look at the unholy trinity of Travis Bickle in Taxi Driver, Rupert Pupkin in The King of Comedy, and Jake LaMotta in Raging Bull. None are gangsters, but they are all consumed by a toxic ambition. In Taxi Driver, Travis Bickle doesn't want a Cadillac, he wants to matter. He craves purpose in a city he sees as an open sewer, and his ambition curdles into a violent fantasy. His iconic mirror scene is him literally forging an identity out of pure rage.
You talking to me? You talking to me?
Then there's Rupert Pupkin, the bizarro world version of Travis. Where Travis wants to violently cleanse the world, Rupert just wants its adulation. An aspiring comedian with no talent, Rupert is the American dream of fame, reduced to its most pathetic form.
Tomorrow you'll know that I wasn't kidding and you'll think I was crazy. But look, I figure it this way. Better to be king for a night than schmuck for a lifetime.
Rupert represents the dream of celebrity as a sickness, the belief that being famous is the same as being important. And then there's Jake LaMotta in Raging Bull, the man who actually achieves his dream. He becomes the middleweight champion of the world, but his greatness in the ring is directly proportional to his paranoia and jealousy outside of it.
Why'd you do it, huh?
Why'd you do it?
I didn't do it!
Why'd you do it? Why'd you do it? Why'd you do it? Why did you fuck them?
He gets the belt, but the victory is hollow. Because he was never fighting his opponents, he was fighting himself. Whether they crave power, purpose, fame or glory, their ambition isolates them. Proving the dream of simply being somebody can be just as damning as owning everything. If the early films are the intoxicating party, the later films are the bill coming due. Suddenly the style that once seduced us begins to feel menacing. In Casino, Scorsese and De Niro refine the Goodfellas formula into something colder. The neon lights feel harsh, not inviting. De Niro's ace is the ultimate perfectionist, a man who believes he can micromanage an empire built on chance. He's the system personified, convinced that if he controls every variable, he can master fortune itself. His fatal flaw? Believing that human beings, especially love and trust, can be managed like a deck of cards.
I'm not in love with you.
I'm realistic. I can accept that. I feel that eventually you would care enough about me that I can live with that.
You can almost feel the trap closing in as the glamour of his life turns ugly.
Legally, she can't take that stuff. Half of everything is mine.
By the time we get to The Irishman, all that glamour has evaporated, replaced by a cold and profound sadness. The film opens not with a bang, but with a slow funeral tracking shot through a stereo nursing home, eventually finding Frank Sheeran old and alone. This isn't a celebration, it's an autopsy. Every reward Frank earned, the respect, the money, power, now carries a visible crushing price. It's a working man's justification for a life of murder. But his loyalty to the mob cost him the one thing that truly mattered, his daughter, whose silent judgment becomes his life's great unpayable debt. The dream's final trick isn't the promise of wealth, it's the illusion of a brotherhood that in the end leaves you utterly and irrevocably alone. Most crime stories end with prison or death. Scorsese and De Niro go further. They let their characters get old. Aging becomes the punishment. The swagger of Johnny Boy means nothing when you see Frank Sheeran trembling, hand struggling with a piece of bread. It's the unbearable weight of memory, the fear of realising too late that you chased the wrong things. That's why The Irishman feels like Scorsese's own reckoning, an elder filmmaker confronting mortality. So after 9 films and 50 years, the verdict is clear. The American dream was never a dream, it was a con. Scorsese and De Niro let their characters sell you the fantasy. The fast money, the sharp suits, the power, and then peel it back to reveal the hollow reality. You enjoy the ride, but you never escape the price. What's your favourite Scorsese and De Niro film? Drop it in the comments below. And if this deep dive changed how you see the films, make sure to subscribe.